Hey everybody, I am back today for day 4 of the Live for 5. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to start discovering your brand voice, what a brand voice even is, and the benefits of it. And let me just put my phone on airplane mode so I don't get any notifications. You may notice I'm on here a little bit earlier today just because I have somewhere to be at 2. So hopefully people jump on here and we can kind of have a conversation about a brand voice. And like I said, why it's important to have one. And my first word of advice to you when going through this is don't overthink it. If you start overthinking this, it's just going to lead you down a rabbit hole. And so just try to keep an open mind and keep it very simple. So a brand voice is a very large factor into how clients perceive you. If you craft a brand message well, then it can allow you to create a clear, consistent message that really stands out from the crowd. And getting into this, I want you to stop and answer or fill in the blank to this question. And you can write this down. I want my brand to make people feel blank. I want my brand to make people feel blank. That's like I said in the beginning, don't overthink this. So if you want to drop that in the comments below, what your answer is to that question, I would love to hear. Now, going back, if you remember, I think it was on day 2, we talked about creating this vision of a cocktail party. What would you be wearing? What would you be doing? How are you getting home? Are you drinking? Are you on the dance floor? Creating this whole vision around a cocktail party. And using that and thinking back to it, I want you to also write down, and you can drop this also in the comments below. I really want to hear people's feedback and what they gather from this. I want you to write down 3 words that would describe your brand. And it's funny because I already had this planned out, and I was in a Facebook group earlier today, and somebody asked the same question, and people's answers were blowing me away. They were amazing. So is it sweet, outgoing, bold? Somebody said polished, which I thought was a really great brand word. And now moving this into messaging, typically your brand voice is going to fall into one of 2 really broad categories, formal or informal. And when crafting your brand voice, it's really good to keep in mind who your ideal client is. And also, we want to keep it personalized, but not personal. Your copy should make you feel human, it should be natural, and it should help you connect to your ideal client. Digital copy, or your brand message, your brand voice, the words you're using, should really be about engagement, getting your customers to talk back and forth to you, and it should also bring value. So one last tip I have for you is to keep it consistent. And the way that you can do that is by creating a word bank of words that you use within your brand on a regular basis, maybe catchphrases that you have kind of coined within your business, and you-isms, as they put it, just putting a personal spin on your brand. Now, if done right, your brand voice should cut through the online noise. It should explain somebody's problem and address the solution in a unique way that positions you as the person for the job for your ideal client. And I want you to keep in mind when going through this that people, I forget who this quote's by, but people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. So really, your brand message and your brand voice should just be a reflection, once again, of yourself and infusing your own personality into your brand. So go back. I want you to say, I want my brand to make people feel, and then fill in that blank. And then think of 3 words to describe your brand. And really, if you haven't gone back and watched all the other days leading up to day 4, all of these things are intertwined together. Your ideal client, your personal brand, your brand message, they're kind of interwoven into a whole brand experience. And last part of that is going to be your website and reflecting all of this onto, your most crucial marketing piece, which, like I said, is your website. And so I would like to invite you to join me for a webinar that I am hosting on June 12th. Let me drop this in the comments. It's about how to design a website that turns your visitors into leads. I want you to start waking up every day to leads sitting in your email inbox waiting for people to work with you. And so I dropped the link right there. I would love it if you'd show up to this webinar now that you have your brand and you understand your ideal client and what it is, the message that you want to convey. We can start creating a strategy to place on your website. And then tomorrow, I know there's a lot of misconceptions, and somebody who hasn't worked with a graphic designer or brand designer before, they may not understand the process of what it looks like and what the investment will be and kind of what they get for that investment. And so tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the process of working with a brand designer, answering any questions that you may have. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I'll answer them tomorrow. So that you can kind of get an understanding. Now that you've done all the homework up front, you can really get the most bang for your buck when working with a brand designer to create the visuals that's really going to highlight and connect with your ideal client. So join me tomorrow for the last day, day 5 of the Live for 5 series. And then also make sure to sign up for the webinar on June 12th so that we can translate all of this into your website and a strategy that really makes sense for your business and gets the leads coming in.